Hi, my name is Sis Tamara, the opulent Steva, and I'll be answering your questions today. So the first question is, or rather, well done for making it to the top. What kept you going? I think what kept me going is the fact that I knew the pressure that came with being in the house, especially because I said it on the first day that I'm in the house for my people and in the house for my community. So I think that pressure that came with that, and I didn't realize how much it was until I was actually in the house. And I think it was also a thing of wanting to prove myself, wanting to prove that there's just more to me than just being a queer person. And I feel like queer people start off on a back foot, and it's easy for people to just discard you or push you aside, which is something that I've experienced for the most part of my life. So when it came to being in the house, it was a thing of Big Brother gave me this opportunity, and I had to milk it for everything that it had. The second question is, what has the experience taught you about yourself and people in general? It's taught me to take time with myself and to also take time with people. And it's because I've always been guarded. Like, I'm always in defense mode because I've always felt like I need to protect myself. Especially because of my experience. And unfortunately, it always goes back to that which is my queer experiences, because that's the only experience I know. So it taught me to take time with myself, not to be too hard on myself, to be more accepting of myself, and to actually love myself. Because as much as I'm very unapologetic of who I am, I realized in the house that I'm still very hard on myself, and I'm not as kind as I should be. And also towards people, you need to take time with people who are different. We come from different walks of life, different belief systems, and so on and so forth. So it's just to take time with people and not to be easy to just I know people or cancel people, because I know, like, we come from different walks of life. Question number 3: what are your views about the other housemates? Honestly speaking, I think they are amazing people. We all aren't perfect, so we all have our flaws. And I think being in that house, it pushes you to actually realize your own flaws. So, like I've been saying on the show, not a single person in that house is a bad person. We just have bad qualities, and each and every one of us, and that's okay because we are all human. Otherwise, especially the ones that I got to spend more time with in the house, amazing people, beautiful personalities, and I'm glad that I was actually able to spend the time that I did with them in the house, because we are all so different and we stand for so many different things. So it was such a dynamic group, and I enjoyed everyone. And question number 4: you avoided gossip as well as beef as much as you could. How did the tensions in the house make you feel? I think going in the house, that was probably my highest priority. I think that's why I also kept saying that I don't want people to. Question number 4: you avoided gossip as well as beef as much as you could. How did the tensions in the house make you feel? um Going into the house, that was probably one of my highest priorities, because like I kept saying in the house, I think that's why I even did not want to be part of any alliance. I did not want people to owe me any alliance or owe me any loyalties, and I did not want to owe anyone any loyalties, because I've watched the show before, and as much as watching the show and being part of the show are two different things, trust me, they really are. I still don't did not want now to be seen like I'm backstabbing people or I'm being disloyal, whereas the game is forcing me into a space where I have to make decisions that are gonna rub people the wrong way, and I need to stick with those decisions because the house does that. And this was proven when I had to make a decision if I was going to be a part of Alliance or not, which I ended up being a part of the Alliance, even though I was like, I really, really, really still don't trust this alliance. But yeah, again, I try to avoid that, because it's easy to just get lost in the house and get lost in the game and just forget that there's life outside the house. So I wanted to make sure that I thread as carefully as possible, but still being true to myself and being 100% with everyone and being honest, in way in honesty is consent in its entirety. And to also make sure that, because there are people that I genuinely want to have friendships with outside the house, but I know how the house is and I know how things can easily turn sour. So I think that's why I try to avoid that as much as possible. Question number 5: you were the life of the party. Which DJ gave you the most fun? Yo, where do I begin? This is a tricky one, because I honestly enjoyed every party. I'm not a huge hip hop fan, but if it's a vibe, it's a vibe. So I did enjoy hip hop, but the other DJs in Dasekaya, especially the ladies, I was in love with LKG, Sis Tamara, and it's just her energy, her personality, how she was interacting with us. I felt like I was actually partying with her. But also with Tuli, I understood. I was like, she's probably just a shy person, but I also enjoyed her set and how she was, man. It's again this whole thing of different personalities, which I got to understand in the house. But the last party that I had to see one of our own, to see a person from my community, and on top of it, to have her have that fire set. I lost my marbles. I lost my mind. That was my favorite DJ in the house, but also like every other DJ. Oh, and yes, Oskambo, something different because we were so used to Chrome and Amapiano, but his son was also something that, yeah, was yeah, it was the one for me. Question number 6. Let's clear the air. You nominated Vinyl, you replaced Tulz with him, and you confessed that you had a crush on him. Why did you want him gone so much? Did his relationship with Terry bother me? Yeah, in all honesty, and I think, yeah, I knew when I made this decision how I would have to deal with these questions and people potentially hating me. But in all honesty, I found myself in between a rock and a hard place because I was already struggling with my friendship with Terry because of how I am and always protecting myself from disappointment and rejection. And because of my past experiences with friendships are concerned with girls, and also me not wanting to be just a handbag in the show, and also wanting to stand by myself, for myself, and not to be a supporting character to Terry. So I was already dealing with that. And I was also still enjoying the friendship. And now she was opening up to me about her experience where love is concerned, you know. So it put me in an awkward place because I found out that I actually like vinyl. And now, where does this put me? How can I keep advising Terry, and how do I advise Terry? Because also in me advising Terry, it would be a thing of I'm trying to backstain her, or I'm trying to break her, or anything like that. So for me, it put me in a hard position because especially with everything that was happening in the house where we would have these moments with him. Hopefully I was not in my mind, but yeah, again, I experienced what I experienced. So I was like, nah, this is making it difficult for me. So it posed as a threat to me moving forward with Terry as my friend in the house. It had nothing to do with their relationship bothering me, because I think that's also why, as much as I did like a lot of people in the house, I did not really try to pursue them, because when it comes to me, like as a queer person, it's very tricky when you like a person when you don't know, or they haven't told you if they're queer or not. So in all honesty, it was just a liability for me, because I knew that it was probably going to continue. And I even saw when I had conversations with other girls, especially in Proabadim in the house, that, and like that's why I even thought he was a wild card. And for me, I did not need that distraction, because I still wanted to protect the friendship that I had with Terry, as much as I still nominated her, which was still part of the game. And I did have a conversation with her about that. But with me at the time, if Vine was still in the house, it was going to be a problem with me moving forward. And I don't want to be seen, because I'm not, as a person that does not have a backbone. Question number 7. What did you mean when you said Terry is weak? When did I say this? And this keeps coming up. I probably forgot, but I always said Terry was weak when it came to falling or being head over heels, because like she'd always say, yeah, I'm a thug. Hey, and the next thing, Miguel is a con girl. I think honestly there was no malicious intent when I said Terry is a weak B word, because I'd even say it to her, and it was in a playful way, because like honestly, I really would love to believe that I'm not a bad person, and I would never do that intentionally, because again, like you asked previously, why I avoided tensions or conflicts or the beefs. I would never do that. And I was saying it in the most funny way possible, because it was like, hi, when a whole thug, you're falling head over heels. But I understand how people would have taken it, especially because I was vocal about how I felt about Vina in the house. Question number 8. Can we expect your friendship with Terry and Paul to go on after the show? Bona, again, yo, like I can't even begin to explain. It's not just the two. Also, Ntabi, those are my girls, and I think that's if Nyani, I did have a regret in the house. I think it's also not opening up myself more like earlier in the game, but I guess everything happened the way it happened. But again, with Terry, it started off with a banger, and then I had my problems with the friendship. But then we grew close, even closer together. With Mpo, it was not, it was wonky in the beginning, but we grew closer. With Ntabi, I just knew with that one NG it would be chill because she's a very chill person. So definitely, even now, I'm with Terry, and it's so hard because of all the negativity that we are experiencing because of the friendship from the different camps. But I also understand it. I understand how passionate people can get, and I actually appreciate it. It means there are people in our corners, that are going to fight for us. But where the friendship is concerned, definitely, I really would love to have a friendship with these girls. And yeah, I'm just gonna shoot my shot. If there is anyone out there that wants to have a reality show, we're more than game, because it's also something that we really spoke about. They are such smart women, they are intelligent, they are focused. When we talk about focused queens, it's those people that are so goal driven and are so ambitious. And I think that's why I gravitate towards them, because again, I am a hard worker, and they are also hard workers. And then question 9. When you learnt about the perks that came with winning the veto power challenge, did you not regret giving up? Honestly, I think I would have taken the decision I made, because I also don't think I gave up. Rather, I had a conversation with myself throughout the 12 hours I stood in that position. So I did not, because again, I watched the show before coming into the house. So I knew what the perks were going to be. I did not expect it to be two people chosen. I just expected to be one person. So I did not, but obviously we are human. So there was a part of me that was like, damn, if only I had held on a bit longer. But my body gave in. Like, I did all I could, and I was just proud that I even made it that far, especially with the elements taking a toll on me. So it was not giving up, and I think I'm glad that I adopted the meditation and the praying and the introspection and talking to myself in the house. That kind of pulled me towards myself. So it was easier to deal with things, especially in the arena games nights where I was so close to winning and I didn't. So it was not me giving up, it was me having had the conversation and reassuring myself that this is not giving up, but rather making a decision that it is good for you. So I'm happy, man. Again, one could be like, hi, you are lying, you still wanted to win. Definitely everyone wants to win the 2 million, but even me talking to you now, that's a win for me, because before now I was like, I believe I was voiceless, but now I don't have a voice for just myself, but for a lot more other people. So like, I'm still appreciative of the whole entire experience. And then the final question, or rather the question number 10. Don't you regret saving Tulz twice, and don't you think he took your place at the finale? Honestly speaking, I don't think it took my place in the finale. Like the conversations we'd have in the house, that it's already written in the stars, and we are just walking our journeys. I saved Tools twice because of the relationship that at least I experienced with Tools. Tools was honestly a safe space for me in the house. He was a brother for me, like, to me in the house, and he was also a friend. Like, it was easy to be with him, and it's something that I had not experienced with heterosexuals, let's say heterosexual or cisgender males outside, like in the real world, even prior to the experience, and how I felt going to the house, how anxious I was, especially where the guys were concerned. So Tools for me, like, his proper family, right? Like honestly, and I think people, because I know people will be like, "Ah, you are stupid, you are this," but I take that. But I think that's why I keep saying, even in the house, that make your decisions, make your choices, and stick to them. And I wish him nothing but the best going forward, because I honestly really do love him. And even if it's one sided, it's okay. But I do hope that we are able to continue the brotherhood even beyond the Big Brother experience. And then in closing, who do you think will win this season? I honestly, I'd be lying if I told you who I think would win, because the Big Brother game, you never know. The people that you thought were actually going to be safe, or were going to actually make it to week 9, 10, week 8, they left. So it's how the house is. Hey, week in, week out, it's different dynamics. It changes, the game changes. So I can't say who will win, but rather I know who I would like to win, and that's Tulz, because again, as my brother, I felt a sense of closeness with him. But apart from Tulz, it has to be Mpho Abadi. Mpho, like me, stands, like, her narrative is beautiful. I love it, and I understand the pressure that comes with, like, having to be a voice for your community and also still trying to find yourself within the house. I absolutely understand. I get it, and I'm rooting for her. Like I said, she's very smart. She's very intelligent. It's beyond looks, and I understand that it can't be easy, being a minority. So she's definitely a queen that I would love to see win. Thank you so much for your time.